Yeah, hi everyone. Okay, so let's continue. Uh, I um I just talk about tech stuff that I learn during the day, and I just record it and then I just post it online. So today uh, we'll continue. We'll explore some concepts in JavaScript. So today we'll see about what are scopes in JavaScript. I'm sorry, scope. Then we'll see what is a block, what is a block scope. Then we'll see what is shadowing and what is illegal shadowing. We'll see everything. We'll cover all of these topics, and we'll also see them live in the browser and see how JavaScript actually works behind the scenes. Okay, so let's just start. So first is scope. Okay, so we'll talk about scope right now. Okay, so yeah. So what is scope basically? In JavaScript, there are three kinds of scope. Scope basically means that, for example, let's say if I have this variable a which is equals to 1. Now this variable, it was not declared inside any of this uh, uh, curly braces or inside any function or anything. No, it was just declared in the file. Okay, so this means this variable is a global variable right now, global scoped variable right now. There are three kinds of scopes in JavaScript. One is we have global scope, then we have function scope, and then we have what do we say, block scope. Scope basically means that what are the accessibility options of any function, variable, or an object. Which means that if I define a, which means according to the context, if I define if I declare the variable over here inside a function or inside a block, then what other things, like what other methods like function or variable can access them. For example, currently variable a is not inside any block or a function, which means it is globally scoped, and from anywhere inside my file I can access this variable. Sorry, function fy. And if I do this, it's completely fine. Why? Because variable a is globally scoped. Let's just see it on the browser also. Just a second. So that's fine. And yeah, so if we would try to run, why is it? Oh, I forgot to call the function. Should always call the function, right? See, we are if you are able to see, we are able to access variable a. Now let's just try another example. This was an example of globally scoped variable. Example of a globally scoped variable. Now let's just see about function scope. Okay, right. So now we'll talk about function scope. Just a second, I'm trying to format it a little bit. Now, okay, so maybe if I have a function, let's say xyz, and inside that function I declare a variable a, which is maybe, and over here in the global context I try to access variable a. Then let's just see if we are able to do it. See, A is not defined. Why A is not defined? Because A was declared, or A was initialized inside this function xyz, which means now A has a boundary of this function. It can be used inside this function only, and we cannot access it outside this function. Okay, so this is function scope. If we use it using, if we do a var, then we, because why we are not able to do this, you might have read somewhere or study somewhere that var is globally scoped. If var is globally scoped, then we should be able to access this variable A. We are not able to access A because var keyword, any variable initialized with var keyword is both globally plus function scope. If it is declared initialized inside a function, then this scope would be applicable, and if it is outside, then it's global. And okay, I'll tell just in just a minute. Okay, so if this was clear, now we will talk about block scope. I hope the things are clear right now. So before talking about block scope, let's just talk about what is a block. Basically, block is something which allows you uh, if I have to put it in a simple, like in the most blunt manner, this is a block. These curly braces are a block. Basically, block allows us to uh, group two or more statements which JavaScript perceives as a single statement. Let's just understand it by an example. So, if I have the statement of if true, return true. This is completely fine. This is absolutely valid statement, and it would work. Illegal. Oh, sorry, not return. Maybe anything. Maybe console of true. Okay. So this, let's just make it a string. Okay. So this is completely valid. Even I'm sorry. Um, yeah. So what I was talking. Yeah. So even though we did not have any curly braces over here, our code worked just fine. Can you guess why is it so? Because if statement, the syntax is basically if statement expects a single statement after the braces, after the round braces. Okay, but sometimes we have to have two or more statements. So what can we do in that situation? Maybe you have to do some, like if it's true, then print one and also print two. But if says that, like, I would just accept one statement. Okay, you cannot give me these two or more statements, but I have to do this. This is my job, I have to. So how can we what would be the solution of this problem is this thing. This thing defines a block in JavaScript. Now anything you write inside it, any number of lines you write inside it, this block would group all of them, and this would be considered as a single statement. These all statement would be considered as single statement, and which satisfies the condition for the if. So this is basically what a block is. So block is nothing but just set of uh, a pair of curly braces which groups any number of code statements written inside it, and lets JavaScript perceive it as a single statement, which further allows us to use them in if statements, for statements, while loops, etc. While for loops. I'm sorry. Okay, so this is a block. I hope that's clear. Next, we'll see block scope. Block scope simply means any variable which is defined inside the block is scope, which means it cannot be accessed outside of these curly braces or outside of this block. We tried to console log. Let's just see. Maybe, yeah. Why? Okay. So a question for or for us. I said right now that any variable, if it is declared inside a block, then it is scoped, which means it cannot be accessed outside the block. But here we saw that A is able to get A is getting printed on the console. So why is it happening? See, I told you the var keyword variables having the var keyword are globally and functionally scoped. Over here, var was not inside a function. If it is not inside a function, then the property of globally scoped would be applicable on var. And if any variable is globally scoped, then it does not matter if it is defined in a block or it is not defined inside it. We can access it anywhere in the file. That's why we were able to access A. But let's just try to do this also. Okay, now let's see. I don't think. Yeah, A is not defined. Why? Because A is block scoped, and we are trying to access it outside the block, which is not allowed because okay. Now one more FYI, which is let and cons are block scope. These things are pretty common in interviews, in JavaScript interviews. People try to ask all of these. So they like I've seen some videos and articles I've read that they ask what is a block, what are types of scope, what is a scope, and maybe what is the scope of a variable with the keyword var or variable with the keyword let or cons and all of these things. Okay, so I hope you would be able to answer all of that right now. This was all about scope. Like scope gives us the accessibility options, provides us with the power and context, like where any variable can be accessed and used. Okay, then we discussed block, which is nothing but just a set of curly braces which groups n number of lines and uh, lets JavaScript perceive them as a single statement. Then we discussed function scope, global scope, and block scope. Okay, so I hope this was clear. Let me just see in my notes if anything I have missed. Yeah, I have missed the visual representation, right? Okay, so we can see, do we say, we can see how these block scopes and function scopes are executed. Let's just try to see. Now we have a var a which is equals to 1. Var a is uh, globally scoped right now. Okay. Now we have a function xyz. Inside it I have a b which is equals to b. And I have a console log b, or maybe I don't have it and I have a const to c. And let's just for fun see what would happen if I do this. Uh, let's just name it something else. const is equals to 2. Okay, let's go. Hmm. Let's just try to see over here. We can see the scope. Like inspect and this browser console and dev tools are like so nice. Okay. And I have put the debugger over here. And according to me, over here in the scope, inside the global heading, A should come because A is globally scoped, right? And uh, see, see inside the global scope, we have A. Okay. We did not get B and C because we did not call the function XY. I told you initially what JavaScript does is it just scans and allocates memory. So A, it has allocated undefined. Okay. Script. Oh, what is this? I don't know. Let's just see. Script is scope in JavaScript. I was trying some examples, and in that I did not see the script scope. I tried to as you can see in my notes also. I don't think. See, I just got the block and global scope. So I and this is the first time I'm seeing this script scope. Oh, script scope is nothing but just the block scope, I guess. Okay. Function scope, global JavaScript variable, global JavaScript. No, no, no. Oh my god, this is embarrassing, I guess. JavaScript, what is the word? Oh, Stack Overflow. My favorite. Uh, I see after the, okay, let's just see. Doesn't have a script scope. What you're saying is just a globe. Google's, okay. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, so if we use let and const in the global lexical environment, so it is Google's way of representing it as like this inside the script. So consider them in the global scope only. It's just because we are using the Google's V8 engine is showing us like this, but it means that it is inside global scope. Okay, so A is inside the global scope. Let's just see over here. Let us run it again. Okay. So let me just remove it over from here and we'll run it. Okay. Okay. See, we got B and C in the local scope. Local scope means inside this function scope. Okay. And if you want to see that block kind of heading, we can just remove. See, function scope is also known as local scope in the browser tools. Okay, so this is just the same thing. Don't get confused. Okay, so see now we got the block also. So we can now see all these scopes Y and Z. Sorry, B and C are block scoped. A is globally scoped. Y and Z are also globally scoped, but because they have let and const as keyword, so Google's V8 engine shows them inside this script heading. Otherwise, it's just the same thing. Okay. So this was all about scopes. It's pretty easy, pretty simple, I guess. Okay. So now next topic is shadowing. So let's see. We have to study about shadowing. What is shadowing? Shadowing is pretty simple. Oh my god. I was building a Chrome extension and I had to like the keywords like chrome dot runtime dot on, send message on, receive message, all of these were too long to type, so I thought I would just install an extension for that. And now the project is built, now I don't want it anymore, so I was trying to find which was the extension that I downloaded. I tried to uninstall it, but I just couldn't find it. And now everything anytime I type try to type it, it just comes from nowhere, and it's pretty annoying, but it's okay, I'll find it someday. Okay, now yeah, we were on shadowing. Okay, let consider we have a variable in the outer scope. Okay, then we have a variable of the same name inside uh, in an inner scope. Okay, now what do you think will happen? Let's see an example. Okay, not an export, we'll see an example. We have this var a which is equals to 100. We try to console log in, and will console log pretty easily. Then we have a function xyz. Then we again redeclare it as 20. We console log it again, and then we come out of the out of the function, and then we again try to log it. Now the question is, what uh, will be uh, C? Uh, I think you would be pretty comfortable with the fact that variable a is equals to 100. This thing over here is the outer scope, and this is the inner scope because it is inside a function. Now we need to uh, reduce the output of this thing. Let's just see. We'll remove this. Let's go in the console, and we'll rerun the file. 100 and 100. Only two? Oh, I did not. So I see. Let's see. 120 and 100. Okay. 120 and 100. Hmm. Okay. See, we had this variable a with value 100 initially in the outer scope, but when we entered an inner scope in the file, or in the code, we re, we over we tried to change the value of this variable a because they had the same name. And now initially it was 100, now we try to change it to 20, and we try to console log it. So this thing that we and this variable over here, this line overshadowed the value of the outer scope variable. See, initially it was 100. If the shadowing would not have been done, then over here also 100 should have been printed. But because of shadowing, why do I keep saying overshadowing? Because of shadowing over here, this inner scope variable uh, rewrote the value of the outer scope variable and shadowed its value. That's why we get 20 over here. And if we had to see this, just a second. Okay, so if we had to see this in the block scope, we'll see this also, and we'll also see it with let and const variables. So okay, let's just try to see it in a what do we say? Block scope. Okay, see over here. Now it prints 100, 20, and 20. Over here, now it completely changed over here also. So this is all done because of shadowing. Now you must be having this question like when we used the function thing, we just changed this value. But when we did this block thing, we changed this also. Why so? Okay, let me just explain. Let's just come back to this thing. We keep coming back to this line. Variable is globally plus functionally scope. Okay. See, initially I had this variable inside a function. Inside a function. Okay. So if I told you if any variable with the keyword var is inside a function, then it becomes functionally scoped. Its boundary is its accessibility, its power is restricted till these three or four lines only. This function scope, this function block only. So it has the access to only this memory space in the local scope where A is written. It can only change this thing. Okay, but when I try to put it inside a block scope, now it is not inside a function. Then by default this would be a global variable, globally scoped variable, and now it has access to the memory reference address of this variable also, and now it directly changes this value over here, and it shadows its value to its own value over here, and now any number of time you print a will always get this value. Let's just see if we again do this. Will shadowing again happen? I think so, yes. So it happens, right? Okay. So this was it's all about memory allocation and memory referencing in most of the coding languages, as you can see. In C++, there is whole 2 to 3 chapters upon pointer, variables, reference pointers, and null pointers, etc., etc. So if anybody can understand the memory game, then like program understanding the core concepts is really important, really easy for them. So I hope I was able to explain this. Should I give a recap? It was just memory thing. Like over here, it is globally scoped. Now, since it's globally scoped, it can directly access this memory reference. But when it was inside a function, it was just functionally scoped. It could not go out of the function, so it could not access this variable's memory. So it could not directly overwrite this. It was only able to overwrite over here, and then it was able to console it. Okay. Now, this was the case with the let variable. Let's just see with a pause. What do you think? Oh, sorry. Let and let. Cannot redeclare. Is it illegal? Shadow. Uh, can cannot. Oh, over here. Yeah, this was illegal shadowing. We will come to it in just a minute. Okay, now what would be the output over here? Be the or anything. Oh, not put. What the fuck? Okay, so we need to find the outputs over here and here and here. Let's just see. 100, 20, and 100. Why? Because of C. Over here also shadowing takes place, but because let is just block scoped. Its boundaries are its power is only restricted to line 63 and 66, which means it cannot go outside of this block and it cannot access this memory. But it can access this memory, so it shadows this value for now. And anything you would do, see initially, see when you would be writing real code, maybe initially you have a let variable and you have this value, and by mistake inside the block you do this, and then you do continue writing your code. You will see an unexpected output because inside this block this thing has shadowed the value of this variable, and everything inside this block is now according to this because of shadowing. Okay, shadowing has its own uh, advantages as it increases reusability and readability, I guess. But it has some issues also. It makes code a little difficult. Same as with const. Okay, so now let me show you one thing. So this is not possible. Where is possible? Where let is also where let. Let's just see what would happen in this unexpected. What? Where? Unexpected. See, 120 and 100. Okay. So in this also shadowing is possible. So this was all about shadowing. Shadowing is nothing but when shadow the value of an outer scope variable inside a inner scope setup or context. Okay, now next thing that we would talk about is illegal shadow. What is illegal shadowing? Illegal shadowing means which is not allowed. Okay, see, if you have this thing where a is equals to 1, I think I'm doing it wrong, but let me just see. And console log a, console log a. So this is okay, and this is also okay, but this is not okay. Why? Why is this called an illegal shadowing? Basically, illegal shadowing is something that when you have let or const the uh, in the outer space, outer scope, sorry, in the when you have let or const in the outer space and you try to when you try to shadow it with a var keyword variable inside sorry, in an inner scope setup. So this is illegal, this is not allowed, and you will get a error like you cannot redeclare block scope variable A. This is just illegal shadowing, and like it will not let you execute all of this. It was like JavaScript is a forgiving language, is one of the forgiving languages, but it also draws a line somewhere. Okay, so this was illegal shadowing. So yeah, this was all about this lecture, this discussion. Today's discussion, we learned about scope, block scope, function scope, global scope, and then we discussed shadowing and illegal shadowing and etc. etc. Okay. So I hope if any interviewer asks you questions about these topics, we would be able to answer them. So thank you for watching.